Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And this is Ernest, and this is Corndog. They're saying hi. They wanted to come say hi at the top of the show. And now they're bored. Anyway, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show, and you'll come back in the future. So, this is episode 228. Did I say that?
Yes.
I did?
No, you haven't said that. And today is Sunday, October 18th, 2015.
And if you're a returning viewer, don't turn off your screen. This isn't a different podcast than you think it is. I may look slightly different. Let me just say, this episode title is called Stupid Beard Trimmer. And I'm going to put the dogs down. So, I decided to trim up said beard this morning, and, yeah, it likes to trim a lot closer than any other beard trimmer I've used before, and needless to say, I got started and couldn't go back after that, so I almost shaved it completely off, but I really don't like myself without any facial hair, and most people that I know don't. My mother's probably the only person who would disagree. So I left what little stubble I had left and actually shaved around it, and we'll grow it back out. So it'll grow out, it'll grow back, won't it? That's what they always say. So unfortunately, not my bald head won't, but. So anyway, let's do a quick weekend review other than my stupid beard trimmer. So, last week we recorded last Saturday and Sunday. Leading Men Fiber Arts vended at Stash Market in Yorkville, Illinois. It was not our type of show. I wish I would have known that, but we were one of two yarn vendors. We were the only hand dyers. People came mostly for the flea market side of it, and there were some people who did handmade soaps and jewelry, and a couple alpaca farms that had fiber or things made of their alpaca. But, not a good show. We barely covered our booth fee in our sales. But you live and you learn, and it was a beautiful day out, and we got to experiment with a double booth for the first time, so my leading man and I got to enjoy the day together, and he got some apples and whatnot. They were really good apples. Expensive, but good. So, was what it was. Monday, I had the day off due to Columbus Day, and I scheduled 2 fillings on that day, so that was a bunch of fun. I was telling Callie it was kind of stressful. I got not an intern dentist, but a dentist doing his residency, and he didn't really seem like he knew what he was talking about, because he was like, oh, we're going to do a cavity up here and one down here, and I'm like, wait, why are you numbing both my upper gums then? And he's like, oh, and his assistant's like, you're doing these teeth, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah. So that didn't give me a lot of confidence in the beginning, but I got through it. It was not all that fun for me, but it is what it is.
See, and I wouldn't be able to do that because, I had a nurse practitioner in residency when I was little prep me for surgery, and she messed up hardcore, and it didn't go well. So if I was in your shoes, I would have been like, I'm not okay with this. I need the real dentist.
I almost did, but I got through it. It's fine. I got a little worried. I almost went back in because one of the fillings, he didn't shave it down enough at the end. This is kind of one of those pop-up box dental places, you know what I mean? So they kind of want to get you in and out as quickly as possible, unfortunately. So I almost went back in for them to shave it down a little bit more, but actually I think I got used to it or whatever. It just felt weird or what have you, so I don't notice it anymore, so that's good. So, needless to say, I'm done with any dental work. I'm done with all the hard stuff. I don't go back for 6 weeks, and then I've got to get my official cleaning and polishing, and then after that I will schedule the in-house bleaching treatment for my teeth. So there's that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I worked. It was a very long work week. I had grades due. I had to finish up grading major essays. And then yesterday we vended at the Bishop Hill Fiber Guild's 35th, I believe, annual spin-in. It wasn't as well attended as we remembered when we vended it 2 years ago. It was our first show we ever vended 2 years ago. But we seemed to do pretty well. I know a lot of other people were complaining about the amount of people that came and their sales and whatnot. So we had a good time. And if we saw you there, then thank you for stopping by and saying hi. So I do have one quick story. I told Callie, I said, wait till you hear the story. I haven't told her, but I said, I've got some shenanigans, as Amy Beth would say. Literally, I think I broke Andy in the drive home last Sunday from Stash Market. So I was working on my polyphony shawl, which you'll see in just a minute. And I was getting very close to the end of the skein, so it was very light, the ball of yarn. And I had it up. We had like a little cubby on our dashboard. And I had it up in that cubby right next to the window. And I was knitting, and the sun was setting. And I said, oh, look at that sunset. I said, that's Instagram worthy. But my windows were dirty. My side window was dirty. So I was like, I'm going to roll down the window and take a picture. You see where this is going?
Not well.
So I have my phone ready, and I'm rolling down the window, and I have one of those. With my new fancy truck, I have it where you can just press it once on either side and they'll go down by themselves. Well, I roll the window down and I'm trying to get the picture ready because, mind you, I'm not driving. I'm in the passenger seat. And I'm trying to get the picture ready and I don't even realize that my yarn or my whole project is tugging towards the window. And what happened was that said ball of yarn went flying out the window, and my project was trying to go with it, not with my signature needles, thankfully, but with my Chow Glue interchangeables, and it was pulling to try to go out of my lap. Luckily, it wasn't really getting anywhere, but I still had a ball of yarn flapping in the wind. It was in the truck bed, and you could see it bouncing around in the back window. And Andy was like, was that his yarn? And he was thinking in his head, he's like, but he's not, because it took me a second to register this. And Andy's like, well, he's not freaking out. It must not have been his yarn. Maybe it was like scraps or something. And I'm like, oh my God. So I start freaking out. And I'm grabbing the yarn. Meanwhile, I'm like lassoing it or flying a kite. And I'm like pulling it in. It got knotted on itself. And it's flapping in the wind while we're driving. He's like, I'm not pulling over for some yarn. He's like, even if you lost your project, I wasn't going to pull over to go find it. So I had to pull the yarn in up through past the window and in, and it was a hot mess of yarny goodness. And I was sat there, I was like, oh God, and I think I broke him and about broke myself. I got the yarn back in the truck. But I was trying then to detangle it, and he's like, I would wait till you're in, proper lighting and at home to do that. So I put it away, and I actually didn't even look at it till a couple of days ago, and I was like, this isn't worth it. Luckily, the project was at a point where I was close to being done, and I didn't need to do any more rows. I could stop where I was. So I yarn wrangled in a truck. It was kind of interesting.
I think it's sad that he wouldn't pull over.
Yeah, no. He was like, nope. Even if you lost the project, what are we going to do? You're in the middle of a highway.
This is exactly why you guys should never have kids. You just lost your favorite doll? Gone.
I just think it was funny that I was like, oh, it's still back there. Like, he thought it was just gone, like it would have torn. No, it was just flapping in the wind, coming up the side of the truck. I thought it was funny. I'm sorry if we're making the camera shake at all with our laughter, but hopefully you're laughing with us because it was rather hilarious. So, yeah. That's my shenanigans of the week.
My week has been pretty busy trying to get some things done. Wednesday was my birthday, so I ended up having to go into work. We're not going to talk about it because I don't have nice things to say about that. But I went up to my friend's house in a suburb of Chicago, and we went shopping for a little bit, and then we went to Texas Roadhouse for dinner, which was excellent, and came back and watched some TV, and I passed out, so did she, and her husband passed out, and of all three of us that were passed out, I went to bed first, and then I told my bestie, I was like, you need to go to bed, because she fell asleep like 4 times, because we were watching a movie. Whenever she eats sugar, she just like passes out. It's hilarious. So anyways, it was good. Drove back the next morning, and then just been trying to work on things and get things done. So not much exciting things going on in my life. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I haven't been on Ravelry this week, so if anyone sent me a pattern, much appreciated, and you'll get due proper shout outs next week when I get on, so many thanks.
Alright, so let's get to the knitting. There's been a little bit. I've been trying to force myself to take the time with the crafting. So the first thing I have on the needles is Portage by Melissa Shashwari. I'm using Elizabeth Lavold Silky Wool in color number 65, which is spruce, and I'm using a size 7 needle currently. I did not get much love on this. It's not going to get done in time for the knit along, but it's alright. I got a good start. But again, here's the back, and you can see from the Dicky-Doo I got maybe 4 rows. Maybe. Again, once I get through this back and this honeycomb stitch from hell, hopefully it'll breeze right through. It's kind of like the polyphony I'm going to show you. I got through the lace, and now I'm like, soothing garter all the time. I worked on that this whole weekend. So, seems to be zooming. Alright, the second thing is my Polyphony by Sarah Berghardt Abram, and I'm knitting this out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer in Copper Cloud and Eternal Kiss, and I think I've changed my third color. I'm going to change it to Nude Scene, which is a white, and wait till you see these colors together, and then imagine a white next to it. You're going to be like, good choice. So, I started the Eternal Kiss on the 3 sides. This is the 3-side border. So we have the lace, and it's kind of bunched up. You have the lace, and the Dicky-Doos where I left off on the lace, and then, I got as far as I could before it decided to take a flying leap out of the truck. And then I picked up all the stitches a couple of times on one side because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do it. She tells you how many to pick up per rows, you know what I mean? But I was like, I don't know how much. Anyway, needless to say, it goes around the corner, and then around the corner here. So, I think a stunning white ecru color with these 2 colors together is going to look much nicer than that dark blue purple that I was going to do. I think it's going to give it a pop. Mm-hmm. So, and again, the lace will open up once I block it. This provisional cast on is like hanging on by a thread. Luckily I tied knots in both ends, but I will pick up the top portion and put that white. So I think it'll be a lovely like fall into winter color theme going on. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I'm loving working on that, and I just gotta knit up the rest of the Eternal Kiss. The lovely thing about this pattern is it's designed that you use up all 3 skeins. You go until you're almost done, and then you do the next thing, or you bind off, or whatever. The third thing is the Geology Shelf by Very Busy Monkey. I'm using Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Fog colorway on a size 6 US 4mm. I'm on the last chart. I started the feather and fan, and I screwed up the placement of the feather and fan, but meh. And that was kind of the pattern's confusing part about the first couple of stitches that you keep in garter, and they did not clearly tell you ever to do that for this last section. So I probably have enough yarn to do the feather and fan section a second time. I doubt I will, because I really want this to be done and off the needles so I can start getting things off the needles and get paired on my projects. With having very limited time, I can't have 6 things on the needles and expect to get anything done and show any progress on the show every week, which starts to weigh on me a lot that I'm not getting anything done to show you guys. So I think if I can focus on 1 or 2 projects, as much as I like to have more on the needles, just I can't during this busy time while I'm working and everything else. So you can see it's got the stockinette, and then seed stitch, and then lace, and then this lovely maze pattern, and love this slip stitch kind of. It's not even slip stitches. I don't know how to explain this, and then we go into the feather and fan. So it's going to be a long, pretty shallow shawlette, even if I block it, but it is what it is. I'm kind of over it. I don't have any intended recipient for it, so.
Cool.
2 more things. Mix It Up by Jana Huck. I'm using local alpaca mill spun to a fingering weight on a size 3 US, which is a 3.25 millimeter. And I did a decent amount of work on this week. I worked on it while watching the Great British Baking Show. So from the Dicky Doo up, that's what I got done. So I'm dyed this in our blue steel colorway, and this is the natural white for ecru. Sorry, the sun's kind of blowing out that white, but you get the idea. So it's going. That one's going to take a little bit of time, but the rows are outrageously long already, and I'm almost done with 4 out of the 8 repeats. Before then, I even have to do even more large swaths of color at the end. And the last thing is the A River Runs Through It socks. I'm using Lollipop's Tradition Base in the A River Runs Through It colorway on a size 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. And I finished turning the keel and decreasing the gusset, and I'm working my way out the foot. You can see the lovely striping pattern here, the heel, and it's going. So been working on this at work. I would love to get these done. I might cast on another self-striping sock after this, because this is my portable knitting that I work on when rescanning, or I work on it if I have a few extra minutes in my planning period at work. So there's that. And that's all that I'm working on this week.
And no finished objects this week?
Oh, I forgot. I did finish something. I technically had it done last week, but I blocked it this week. And I finished the Rush Laziness boomerang. Sorry. And I blocked it. This is out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Improv Sock Blank in the Rush Laziness colorway. And it's my boomerang recipe garter stitch, and I did block it out. So it did block out fairly nicely. I like the patterning of the yarn. And again, I don't know who this is going to go to. But again, because I don't think Callie's a pink girl. I could be wrong. So there's that.
Nice.
Are you a pink girl?
I do like pink.
There you go.
But this is
I just gotta get a picture of it, and then you can have it for the winter time.
I actually am. So I'm ordering a new coat. The color that I want is actually on back stock right now, which makes me really kind of sad. But it's a jade green color, which I've always really liked, and it generally always looks good on me. So it means new time for accessories. So I'm excited about that. But if they don't have it within the next couple of weeks, I'm probably going to get a different color, just because
It's getting cold.
It's getting a little bit nipply. And so...
Nibbly?
Nipply.
Tit-bit nipply.
Tit-bit nipply. And so, there's that, but I've been on the wait list for like 2-3 weeks now, so we'll see. So what I have going on is actually a part of our current cow, and that is for our sweater cow, who had to have started on or after July 1, and it ends on October 31 or November 1st, whenever we decide to close the thread. You can knit with any base of yarn. It does have to be an adult sweater or cardigan. No vests, no ponchos, no thing like that. So it has to be classified like that in Ravelry. Excuse me. If you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can enter your project twice in the finished object thread. If you don't use Leading Men Fiber Arts, you still get one entry into the finished object thread as well. If you have any questions, feel free to earburn Steve or myself, or message me on Ravelry. And what I am doing is I'm working with Raspberry Fizz in Leading Men Fiber Arts in the soliloquy base. It's Raspberry Parfait, isn't it? I just want to have it be Raspberry Fizz. Can we just permanently
You can call it whatever you want to call it.
It's on size 4 US 3.5 millimeter, and I got about 3.5 more repeats done since the last time that I showed this. I have about 6 more repeats to go until I finish a portion before I make sleeves. So I'm excited for that, and I slightly read ahead, for the instructions. So,
which is always key.
Yep. So I think that I am in good hands. If I have any questions, I'm probably going to reach out to Megan from Socknet Zombies to ask her, since she has knit many hitafudes, which I did not mention. It is a hitafude cardigan, so I enjoy it. I mean, the lace is very easy to remember. The rest rows are the same, so it's to me, it's a very memorizable pattern. So I do like it, and that's all I'm currently working on. In rehearsal, I might do some type of boomerang to catch on, or to kind of do something mindless. Not that this isn't mindless, but it feels like it takes me about 15 to 18 minutes per row to get done. So I'd kind of like to see some progress, and something that I can do in a relatively short amount of time. So I might cast on a boomerang. I've said that I might cast on a second project for a while now, so we'll see. So what about you? Just getting things off your needles?
Yeah, I need to get some stuff off the needles, and I'm trying to fly through this, and I just screwed up the patterning, because of course I sit down with a feather and fan pattern row while we're recording, and yeah, nothing really coming up.
So what about your spinning?
My spinning
looks gorgeous. This is what you're working on, is it not?
Yep. So this is what I'm currently working on. This is a commission spin. This is Spin Monkeys, hand-dyed fibers and yarn. It is 100% Flocklin in the Rhinestone Cowgirl colorway. And I finished the first 2 ounces this morning. I'm spinning it a little bit thicker, like my last spin that I did for myself. So I'm loving the dark, luscious red pinks into the fuchsias. It's very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first 2 ounces. So I'll be doing a 2-ply. I haven't decided whether I'm going to actually fractal spin. I mean, it's just the 2 colors, so I might just spin the other 2 ounces straight out of the braid as well. I did finish some spinning, and I took it with me to Bishop Hill, and I did not sell, so I get to show it to you in person. It will be up in the shop probably after this week, only because we're not really updating. We've got one more show to do, and then we'll officially, everything's been living in the trailer, so we don't have to keep bringing in and taking out. We've been able to manage the shop while we're vending, and so, anyway, so I finished some Highland Handmaids Superwash Merino, 40% Merino, 40%, and then 20% silk. In the 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea colorway, I spun this a little thicker, fractally 2-ply. I got 200 yards of a worsted weight, and I'm very happy with it. I think it's really pretty.
That's really pretty.
So, would make a nice hat or a cowl or something. I think it'd be a really nice barley hat or something. So, I love the way this spun up. I do like that blend of fiber. And Heather does have good prep on her fiber. I will give her that. So that was done and ready to go for this weekend. It'll be heading with us to Michigan, and then if it doesn't sell there, it'll be up in the shop. So that's what I finished this week in terms of spinning. So, in the spotlight, what are we watching and reading? Well, what shows am I watching? I did catch up on American Horror Story Hotel. Still think it's interesting. I think Lady Gaga's doing a pretty good job. Have you watched it yet?
I didn't. I forgot to DVR it.
Did you watch the first one?
Nope. You can go ahead and talk about it.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. I think it's okay. Is it their best season? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of storyline going on between different characters. It's like, how many people can we bring together and intertwine their stories? And I don't know if it's the casting or what, but a lot of the guys look similar. So it's kind of hard when there's so many different characters to be like, is that who? What? Who is that? They look a lot alike. So I did finish The Strain, the season finale, and I thought it was all right. They killed off one of the major characters. So it is what it is. Kind of left it at a somewhat cliffhanger. I'm like, didn't really care though. And we did catch up on the Great British Baking Show. So it's getting close. I think they're down to 5 or 6 people left. Enjoying that. They did breads, I think, this last week. I'm not sure. But I enjoy it. It's on PBS. I did watch a movie. I watched The Loft. I thought it was kind of stupid. But it's about 5 guys who split the cost of a luxury loft in order to cheat on their wives and not have them known. And then
I've seen the previews for that.
They find a dead woman there, and then it's kind of what really happened. And there was a twist, which was and then there was another twist that was just like, really, come on. So it's instant on Netflix if you're interested in watching. Anyway, so what am I listening to or reading? I'm still listening to The Good, the Bad, and the Undead by Kim Harrison. I think I'm close to finishing that. Again, it's alright. I listen to it while I spin. I'm reading The Graveyard Book at school. I'm almost done with that. I should be finishing that up this week. I didn't really care for it. Sorry, Laura. I'm glad I've read it, but it wasn't my favorite by any means. And then I'm listening to Forever Odd. I'm almost done with that. That's by Dean Koontz. That's book 2 in the Odd Thomas series. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this one either. I liked the first book. I'm not sure if I like the second one as much. So, it seems a bit slow, and one of the protagonists I find incredibly annoying. Her dialogue is just beyond nails on a chalkboard to me. So, I know I'm giving it such a raving review. I did download a new James Patterson novel. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll let you know what that is next week when I start listening to it. That's it for me.
Excuse me. Just because of the time of the year, I'm not reading anything, but I'm watching Poor Decisions on TV. That's not a series. That's not a show. That's just Poor Decisions. Some of those include, but are not
limited
to. So I tape or I TiVo every day the Ellen DeGeneres show. I tape the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and the Late Late Show with James Corden, or however you say his last name. And so I TiVo all of these, and at the end of the week, I go through them, and I'm like, there's no guest on here that I want to see, and generally speaking, of the whole week, I end up keeping like maybe 4, just watch like 15-20 minute interviews with them. So I was going through that today, and I was backlogged for like a couple of weeks. So I was watching that. There's a lot of different pieces on that I enjoy. I also watched Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. It's completely trashy, and I think in a lot of ways it really is a poor misrepresentation of African American individuals as well as individuals in hip hop. But it's like a train wreck that you can't just like not look at. Like you just kind of are going like, so that and there's something else. Oh, Black Ink Crew, just because I was watching that like really late one night, and then like this big like drama happened, and then yeah. So but Mob Wives is coming back sometime in December, which I'm really pumped about because I do love Mob Wives. And so those are things that I was kind of slightly watching this week. Again, just because of the time of year, it's been really busy. One of the things that I am looking forward to in reading, though, is this week, Ree Drummond, or The Pioneer Woman, her cookbook for dinner time meals is coming out, and one of my best friends pre-ordered me a copy for my birthday, so that was really nice. But so like that's really nice, and I'm looking forward to reading that. But in addition, I have always gone to like signings of hers and that kind of thing, and other book signings for like Christy Yamaguchi and Meg Cabot, who wrote the Princess Diaries series, just different people. And there's 2 independent bookstores that I keep on my radar at all times, just because they're the ones that are closest to me, and they're the ones that bring people in. And those are Anderson's Bookshop, which they have a location in Naperville and in Downers Grove. And I also go to Left Bank Books, which is housed in the Central West End in St. Louis. If you guys remember, I wasn't able to go to the Yarn Harlot signing, but I got Steve a copy, me a copy, and one for our viewers to have. So this year, Ree set out her tour dates like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and Anderson's Bookshop was on one of them, but Anderson's hadn't made the announcement yet. So I called Anderson's and was like, hey, can you give me details? And they're like, well, we can't really release it just yet. Excuse me. So I called early last week after I was told that I was getting a copy for my birthday, and I said, what's the details for the signing? And they said, you have to buy a book in order to get a ticket. There's no separate charge for the ticket. You'll pick up your book there. So I said, okay. So I talked to my best friend that was getting me the book for my birthday, my other best friend, since we're all kind of Ree fans. And so I booked my best friend and I's tickets, and then my best friend that bought me the book, she bought her own ticket. So I'm ending up with 2 signed copies because I'm getting the book that my bestie got me, and I had to order a book to get my ticket. So I'm getting the book that I'm buying signed for a friend of mine as well for a Christmas gift. So it all works out, and all 3 of us get to meet her. This would be now my 3rd time meeting her, so it's not really meeting per se. But my friend Sarah and my friend Alcha, they've never met her, and they're kind of dying. Like, they're so excited. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited too, so that's kind of neat that we get to do it together because, I kind of feel like there for a while I was the only one that knew about Ree and, like, really enjoyed, her blog. And then when she got her TV show, and then now, like, everybody knows her. And so, like, I kind of feel like this is great that 2 of my best friends also were kind of on that same, like, we read the blog before it was a TV show, before it was this, before it was that. So that's really awesome to finally be able to do with all of them now. So that's a long-winded story to say that, but I'm looking forward to that book. And Anderson's always has, like, their staff selections out, and it's always conveniently wrapped around the the line to get to wherever. But this time, they're not doing it in the store. They're doing it at a theater. So, and the deal was you had to have a ticket in order to get a seat. And if you were early enough, you actually get a seat. Otherwise, it's standing room only. So Sarah's ticket is 403, my ticket's 404, and Alcha's is 405. So we actually get physical seats. We do not have to stand, which is amazing because she's going to do a short introduction, like 15, 20 minutes, and then she's going right into signing. So that kind of also tells you that if we're 400, in the early 400s, then there's a lot of people in front of us. But Anderson's and Left Banks are really good that they group you in like groups of 50. And then, so, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, there's not a guarantee that we get our book signed. But if it were to me, I've already met Reese, so I would give Sarah and Alcha, you know, the chance to go ahead of me. Not that I think it's going to come down to that, but, you know, it'll still be nice to be able to hang out.
I could just see you going, you two go ahead, just in case. And they sign her too, and she's like, no, I'm done. I'm sorry, I got a hand cramp. We're done. Yeah. And then you're like, what? Oh.
I'd be okay with it, really, especially if she let us get pictures. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, every book signing that I've done with Ree, she's been really delightful. And in the last one that I went to Left Banks, I was like in the 600s. So I was really not for sure if I was going to get signed. And especially because that was the one right after David Sedaris. And David Sedaris was taking 15 minutes or more with each person. They didn't close down the shop till like 3 or 4 that next morning. So he stayed till everyone waited, but I was like, I've got to go. I got work in the morning.
Yeah.
So, anywho, that's all I've got.
Well, let's talk quickly about some stash enhancement. Some forgotten stash enhancement. I forgot to mention last week that while vending at Vogue Knitting Live, I told you I got some Haya Sharps fixed needles for socks and one for the shawl I'm working on. I almost did pick up some interchangeables this weekend, and Andy was going to let me, but I said no.
For which brand? Which company?
The Haya Sharps. Oh. I had the interchangeable set, but I was like, no, I've got a set of interchangeables, and then I got like a starter set of the interchangeables for carbons. I was like, I don't really need it. Plus, Andy's like, you just said you want to pare down your projects. You don't need to have all these needles available. So while at Vogue, I did stop in a booth called Utopia. They're out of, I think, Wisconsin. And I'd never seen their stuff before. They had beautiful stuff. And they have a lot of kits, a lot of things designed out of their yarns. They had a whole wall of sweater patterns, and then they had tons of ready-to-made to-go kits. So I actually got the Wind Rose Shawlette kit, which is a lovely lace weight shawl that's 2 colors. Seems very, very simple. And it's by Caitlin Ashley Wright.
I love that kit. Love the colors.
And so I got these 2 colors. I think I'm going to do, I haven't decided, I think I might do the stockinette in the variegated, and then do the kind of, I think it's a, yeah, it's just like an eyelet garter, I think, in the middle, in the lovely red. And she didn't actually have the colorways on here. I was like, well, I said I have a podcast. I want to make sure I get them right. The red is pomegranate, and this variegated is called tapestry. So, again, I'll show you the 2 colors. So, I put it in my queue and got everything, and it comes with the pattern and everything. I didn't think it was bad. And it's a lovely single weight, single ply lace weight, and it's her Maple Ridge lace, 400 yards each. Of the lace weight, so totally 800 yards here. So I picked that up, and I didn't think that was bad with the pattern and everything. It was a $35 kit. I didn't think that was bad if you consider the pattern's probably $5.
Right. And
then, $30 for the lace, but it's already been split up, and it's got the kit and the packaging and everything. So
yeah. I don't think you got hurt at all.
No. And then yesterday, we got a new acquisition for the store, and Callie was like, ooh, what's this, when she walked in.
Well, I knew what it was. I just meant, like, what's this, as in, like,
why is it here?
Yes.
Andy and I decided to purchase an Ashford blending board. We do not know when if or when items from said blending board will be hitting the shops. It probably will not be until next year, next show season. But we have a lot of bits and bobs of fiber that we have, left over from this or that, and we probably have 3 to 5 pounds of fiber that we can't use for the shop currently. So, we thought about maybe making Rolegs, or I actually, was watching videos on how to make comb top out of it. So, but blending. So I'm gonna experiment some more. It's gonna take a learning curve. I was not too happy with what was coming out yesterday. I was tired after bending all day, and then I was like, no, I want to try this, and it came out all right. I had some good ones and some bad ones, but it is what it is, and it'll be something different. So we'll see where it goes with that. So that's all my new acquisitions. Do you have anything new?
No, but I have to tell you. So, my birthday was this week, like you said, but on Thursday I had a team meeting with my leadership group, and so it was really nice because it was definitely business, but we were drinking, and we had Phil, one of my teammates. We had it at his house, and he made homemade guac, which key to my heart. But then he also made, which was so good, it was a cross between queso with queso salsa, and then buffalo dip, and it was chicken buffalo dip. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. And I was like, I need to make this all the time, every day. I need to have this in my fridge. This is going to be a backup meal every time. But one of my other teammate, he bought me a dozen roses and got me this card. And when you open it up, it's an airplane, and it spins, and it sings Willie Nelson. And it was really cool because, my team just, was really awesome, and it was not expected or anything like that, and it was just really nice, and I don't know, I just felt really special, and especially because I'm the only one on the team, I'm the youngest on the team, and I'm the only one not married on the team either, so it's just it was really nice, and it made me very happy to be a part of this project. Not because I got gifts, but because they took the time out of their busy schedules and out of their family time to be able to make my day or make my birthday extended. So it was really cool.
Nice. Very, very nice. All right. What else do we have to talk about? Round of applause. We talked about our sweater knit along. Callie covered that earlier in the show. We do want to remind you to enter all your finished objects into the October 2015 Race to the Finished Object contest. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first one is some Knit Picks Felici in the Jingle colorway, perfect for some Christmas socks coming up. The second prize is a pattern from our featured designer, who is Megan Sanders. So definitely check out her patterns on Ravelry. I believe we have linked to her patterns on our website, which is www.dramaticknits.com.
Just to have you prepared for next month's, or the last knit along for this year, starting November 1 and continuing until December 31, we will be doing a toy knit along. So if you want to start looking at patterns, picking out your yarn, do so. Just know you can't start until November 1.
You can knit as many as you'd like, and each one will get you an entry. And as we've done all year, if you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can get 2 entries into the drawing. So.
Yep. And I've been thinking about what I want to do for knit alongs for next year. So I've got some good ideas that I want to share with Steve once I have final details on those, and I think you guys might be happy. Maybe. I don't know.
So I think that's it for our regularly scheduled stuff. We'll quickly address Center Stage, Leading Men Fiber Arts. Like I said, we've been bending now 3 weeks in a row, and we have 1 more week to go, and that is going to be a long haul for us. We are heading up to Ann Arbor, Michigan to the Fall Fiber Expo. and that is in Ann Arbor. So we'll be leaving Friday night after we get off work, getting there probably around after dinner and everything, probably around midnight, to then get up and start setting up. We have between 7 and 9, 2 hours to get set up. Unfortunately, we can't go up there a day early because, it's a Saturday, Sunday show, so you can come either day. And by the time we break down and head home, we won't be home until about midnight Sunday night, and I cannot go to work Monday after that, so I will be taking Monday off. But I can't really take Friday and Monday. They're going to be like, sick over the weekend, huh? Now, they probably wouldn't do anything about it, but so there's that. But that'll be our last vending experience for this season, and then we'll be back hopefully towards the end of February, hitting the road again and doing all that stuff. So excited to see what next year brings. We've got some things already booked and in the books, and we've got a few things we're waiting to hear back on, and we'll let you know as soon as we hear. I can tell you we will be at Stitches Midwest next year. That's already been booked. Contracts have been signed. Everything's been paid for. So look for us. I won't know what booth number we're in until way closer, but I can tell you we're going to have a double booth at Stitches next year. So we're expanding. So that's exciting. That's about all I can say so far for next year. I have one more thing I have one more that's definitely on the books, but I'm waiting to get the okay to tell you guys. So we have not been updating the shop, but there's still plenty of stock in there, so definitely check out leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. The shop may be closing probably this weekend. I don't know how busy this show is, so I don't know whether I'll be able to manage it and take stuff out of the shop during the show as we've been doing the past 2 weekends. We'll just see. If it's a slower show and I can do that, then I'll open the shop back up, Saturday during the show. But we'll see how busy it is and whatnot. Don't forget, as the holidays are coming up, we do offer gift certificates. So if you're interested, there is a section of the shop for gift certificates. And I think that's pretty much about it. We will have a November colorway of the month. I have charged Andy with coming up with that colorway, so he needs to get that done here in the next couple of days so we can finalize it and then get it done on all the different yarn bases. So there will be pre-orders in the beginning of November for that.
I think I know what my next boomerang is going to be. My foliage colorway that I have yet to knit up.
All right, so we will not be recording next week due to me being in Ann Arbor. It's not Callie's fault this time. And then the following week will be Halloween, and then I think it'll be November 1st we will record, simply because then we can draw for prizes. So
I will be, it might be a later show on November 1st because my event doesn't get over till about 5 or 6. So just be aware. Steve might make the decision to record earlier, and that's fine. I don't have any problems with that since I'm probably going to be super tired, but even if afterwards I'm going to be so pumped. I may be tired, but I'm going to be pumped that the event is over. So.
All right. Well, until we see you in 2 weeks at the beginning of November, and I'll be showing off the pre-order yarn once we figure out what it is. I hope you have a great 2 weeks, and until then, we hope you
knit something
dramatic.